Alright, family, welcome back to the channel. Listen, if you're going to travel anywhere, you know when you book your tickets, you know that little extra they ask you if you want travel insurance? I'm begging you, please consider that extra $50 or whatever as a part of your trip. A lot of us skip over that part, and because we travel so much and nothing ever happens, we think nothing will always ever happen when that's not so. You have no control sometimes, and things can happen, and you'll find yourself in a situation where you're going to have to start setting up a GoFundMe, begging the public for help. Your insurance is not enough to cover. You're stuck in some strange country that has issues with their medical care system, which is far subpar compared to where you're used to some good medical care, right? This is the story right now of an individual who is from the United States of America who went to Jamaica and got in a hairy situation and now needs help getting back to the US. The story goes deep. This is a huge reminder to purchase travel insurance when you go traveling. An Eden Prairie man is in a coma at a Jamaican hospital, and his family is fighting to return him home to the United States of America. Listen to this story. A Twin Cities family is trying to figure out how to get a loved one home from a Jamaican hospital. Yeah, we're talking about our Jamaica. Jamaica, land of wood and water. Bob Marley, Jamaica. Usain Bolt, Jamaica. You get the picture. In November of 2023, 49-year-old Jeff Anderson of Eden Prairie, he went into a diabetic coma while he was on the beach, and he has been hospitalized in Jamaica ever since. That's November of 2023. We're nearing mid-January of 2024. He is still in Jamaica. He is still in a coma. Since then, Jeff's family has been working to get him back to Minnesota, but as John Luritsen found out, that's not as easy as it sounds. Good wit, good humor, loving, kind, generous. That's how Gail Anderson Thomas described her nephew, Jeff. She said that he's a carefree guy, but he suffered a brain injury a few years ago, which changed his demeanor. So now his personality is more like impulse to anger, short-term memory. Those things are non-existent, which for layman's terms means because of his brain injury, he is swift to anger, gets angry very easily, and his short-term memory is almost non-existent. Because of that, her family was worried that Anderson decided to fly to Jamaica by himself. He told the family he was going to take a trip to Jamaica. Everybody was worried because they know his brain injury situation and his condition, right? And his diabetic situation, his health issues, whatever. Almost as soon as he arrived in Jamaica, bad news followed. He didn't get to land in Jamaica and go about seeing the island and having fun. Almost as soon as he landed, bad news followed. He was found with his suitcase lying unresponsive on a beach. He had no wallet. He had no money. I don't know if his wallet or his money, his identification, everything has been found since. But why did he have his suitcase with him on a beach? Did he ever check into a hotel? Who saw him before he ended up on the beach? How did he get from the airport to the beach? Where was he supposed to be staying? Where was he booked to lodge? I have so many questions, but his story gets worse. So listen to this. Anderson had now gone into a diabetic coma. He was eventually taken to a hospital in Falmouth, Jamaica, where he's been ever since. He was put on a ventilator and he has had very little contact with his family. His lungs are failing, and that's why they've intubated him and put him on a ventilator. He's on a breathing machine, y'all. The family said we got to see him twice now during Christmas time. They were kind enough to let us see him in the hospital, said Debbie Avdek, which is Anderson's mom. Those visits, those were by cell phone, so they did a FaceTime, called in, the staff did a FaceTime, and the family was able to see him that way. I'm guessing the family can't afford a plane ticket for the whole family to go down and see him, or for any of them. You know, not everybody's financial situation is great. You understand? And if they're going to go to Jamaica to go see him, they're going to have to think about transportation, which can be quite expensive, renting a car for a period of time. They're going to have to think about where they're going to lodge. Is it an Airbnb or a hotel? That's going to cost some money. And they live in Minnesota, which also is going to cost some money, plane fare back and forth. Not everybody has money like that. You know, a lot of people in Jamaica think, oh, they live in the U.S., they got money, and it's easy for them to travel here and travel back. But what a lot of Jamaicans don't know is that a lot of Americans are broke. Yeah, even the white ones. Because we tend to think, oh, white people equals money. There's a lot of broke people here in the U.S. And it's not said as an insult. It's said as not everybody has a bunch of disposable cash sitting around to where they can just take care of all their financial issues if anything goes down. And that applies to everybody, regardless of race, creed, color, whatever you want to call it, religious differences, whatever. So the distance has been difficult, but getting Jeff home has now proven to be a real nightmare. The frustration, quote unquote, they said the frustration is you just wish that it was easy to go and just get him and just take him here and just put him in a hospital back here in the U.S., but it's not that simple, Greg Anderson, who is Jeff Anderson's brother, said. Because he's in critical condition, Jeff Anderson cannot travel on his own, obviously. He's on a breathing machine, unconscious. And some hospitals in Florida, which is the closest place to Jamaica in the U.S., they won't even take him due to insurance concerns. Wow. We were quoted, this is where the money part comes in. They said we were quoted at $32,000 to get him to Miami. And now it's up to $67,000 to transport him to Minnesota. And that's our only option, his brother said. They've contacted the senator. They've contacted the U.S. Embassy in Jamaica, hoping to get some help. And as spring break approaches, they have a warning for others who are going to travel overseas. The same warning that I gave at the beginning of this video. They said, I hope this never happens to another family. This is frustrating. To not be able to figure out how to get a loved one home. And I don't want him to die in Jamaica. That's the frustration. It's nonstop. I'm not sleeping. Family isn't sleeping. You're on the phone constantly. Basically, it's a nightmare. The family recommends setting up healthcare directives and creating emergency contacts before you travel. Travel expert also advise those looking to travel to get them some travel insurance that covers medical evacuation. I want to say that again. Travel experts and myself also, I'm telling you to look into travel insurance that covers medical evacuations. Honestly, man, if you ask the average Jamaican about the healthcare system in Jamaica, they'll look at you with a deer in the headlight type of look. And this is not speaking bad about Jamaica. This is just saying what it is. If you give comparison, a hospital in, say, Florida versus one in Jamaica that's probably not private and not funded as in you have the cash to roll out to some nice care, that's not where you want to be. That is not where you want to be. I won't go into the details of what it looks like, and people sleep on the floors and sleeping in chairs, and there aren't enough beds, and they're short on supplies, and some of the place looks like it's not even sanitary, and all kinds of different things. I'll just say this: it's not where you want to be. So a GoFundMe page has been set up for Jeff Anderson to try and raise enough money for an air ambulance. Let me repeat. If you go traveling, please look into travel insurance that covers medical evacuations. Please. And again, the GoFundMe has been set up for Jeff Anderson. I've been trying to find it. I found about 10 Jeff Andersons on GoFundMe, and none of their stories match this story. So I obviously have not found the right one. It would be good if CBS News, who I'm taking this from right now, had actually just put a link to the GoFundMe so you could just click it and go directly there. Then I could share it, but they did not. They don't even post a picture of the individual who is involved in this. So with that said, I'll leave this right here. Remember, if you're going to go travel overseas, look into having medical insurance, purchasing medical insurance that covers medical evacuations. All right. I'll catch you on the next video. Each one, teach one. One love. And I hope and wish nothing but the best for this family. That's a scary situation to be in. I'll catch y'all later. Bye-bye. Peace.